Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Fights.
Fights.
Face punching.
Fights.
Leg kicks.
Fight.
Submissions. Welcome to the UFC Apex 62 People's Free Fight Show. We're off to an auspicious start, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We are around 38 minutes away from the first fight, 29 minutes away from the broadcast kicking off. And we're just going to spend this time all together discussing this card, discussing whatever the hell you want to talk about. We'll take your questions from now until the first fight begins. So thank you for joining us. I am Mike Heck. On the ones and twos, Casey Leiden. There he is.
Yeah. Submissions, punches, kicks.
Foot stomps.
I'm saying what I'm saying.
Omoplata. We're just gonna throw banana split. Twister.
All right.
Oh man, we are punchy right now. That's
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I've been I've been wide awake. I've been energetic all morning, and then like the last 20 minutes, I was just like, okay, we got fights coming up. So hopefully this will reinvigorate me, because I am actually like excited for this card and some of the fights. Look, is this the deepest card in terms of like superstar power and potential? No, but are there good matchups? Are we going to see some highlight reel finishes? Yes. Is this going to get us more excited for UFC 280? More than likely. So all those things are good things. So that's why I'm pumped.
And I still think it's a fine fight night card because excuse me, because there's high stakes in the main event, at least for one fighter, and it's not a guarantee, but if Alexa Grasso wins impressively, it's potential a title shot, and I think that's what we really want in a fight night. At least one fight with some serious championship stakes in it. So
yeah, I agree. I think the co-main event is interesting. The featured fight is just going to be absolute wall-to-wall chaos. We got Rafael Assuncao, Victor Henry on the main card, Misha Serkinov, Alonzo Metafield on the main card, and then the prelims. I don't know. Like, there's some prelim fights that I see a lot of finishes on this card. There's some prelim fights where we could have some upset alerts. There's a few fights on this card where there could be some upset alerts, but we can get into that if you want. Leave your questions in the chat. We will get into them. We can talk about this card. We can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about for the next 35 or so minutes. So let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Here we go.
And by the way, like literally 7 days from right now, like we will be in the middle of the UFC 280 main card.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of it. We'll probably be getting ready for Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw like at this time, 7 days from now. So get excited.
You're already talking about next week's card before we even got questions about next week's card. I like that. Mike.
I'm just fired up. I'm fired up for that card. That card's just so good. It's one of those ones you had circle on the calendar for months.
And it's a daytime card. And it's a daytime card. It's a daytime.
We're just talking. It's so funny this comment. Mike Jackson fights. We're just talking about this. I am so oddly fascinated by that fight. Like if I have to rank my top 5 like fights I have to watch on this card, this fight's on there. This fight is on that list, and I don't know why, but it's on there.
Yeah. I'm oddly really interested in this fight too. I can't think of a curtain jerker for a fight night card that I've been this kind of like, oh, we gotta watch this. We might even stay live. Who knows? Just to give I don't know, what do you call it? Commentary as it goes on, because I'm so excited about the first fight. I don't know why. Maybe because I know Mike Jackson. Maybe because he feels like he's one of us, and somehow, and he has just. Not only is he one of us, he has just one of the weirdest. I could honestly say maybe the weirdest UFC careers ever. What year is it? How long has he been in the UFC now? Like 6.5 years or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. He fought Mickey Gall in his UFC debut and got submitted in like a minute.
Yeah.
And that was like the fight to determine who was going to fight CM Punk in his first fight.
It's just, yeah, he's got.
And then he ends up fighting CM Punk anyways.
Right.
And then it's like he
And
fights. He's like
that was the weirdest fight too.
He's like the leap. Yeah, he's leap year. He's the leap year MMA fighter. Like every 4 years, he just slides in there and messes up the calendar. But I just, this is one of the, like, if we were just sitting around joking around, we would just talk about all the different ways Mike Jackson could win in just the most bizarre way possible. And it's like all outcomes are possible, I think. All of them. Jackson gets in the cage. He's bouncing around. Here comes Pete Rodriguez. He like trips over his own feet and like falls to the ground, and Jackson wins by forfeit. Or just, I mean, something weird's going to happen. I don't think this is going to be just your normal everyday mixed martial arts bout. Something out of whack is going to happen.
Yeah.
At least that's what I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike Jackson.
All right, I'm waking up now. Now that I'm talking about this,
Mike Jackson woke you up. It worked. All right, next week.
Am I the only one over Apex cards? Dude, I'm so over Apex cards. I'm so over it.
I mean, to me, it's obviously a financial decision for the UFC. There's almost zero overhead. I guess they've already the place is paid for. I don't know. I don't know. There's all these towns that they seemingly can sell out anywhere. They can go to random city and random state, and they'll sell out that stadium or arena, but they're not. And I don't know. This so goes against what Dana was kind of talking about, saying because remember Dana saying, "Oh, we got a little lazy by having all these Apex shows," and then I guess they're okay with it. I don't know. It sucks. I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for us. I feel bad for the fighters, honestly. That's They like Alexa Grasso. She deserved what fight did we just see? Cheeto and Dom in San Diego. I don't know. Grasso deserves something, anywhere, But here we are.
Like, we're gonna watch Calvin Kattar and Arnold Allen fight in the Apex.
Yeah,
that is that's a travesty.
Why?
That is a travesty that fight is happening at the Apex. But here we are.
Here we are. That's UFC.
Hopefully next year. I still think in 2023 we're gonna have Apex cards. I think we're gonna have probably double-digit Apex cards. But I hope it's like once a month. Once a month I could deal with, but like almost every weekend, it's a tough hang.
Yeah, and there's zero reason why now. So here we go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other bummer of the card.
Do you think the Royval Askarov fight was moved to Abu Dhabi, or Royval gets a new opponent? It's not getting moved to Abu Dhabi. I can tell you that right now.
No.
Royval tweeted out a little while ago, and I guess there's a little bit of smoke to this fire from what I've been told, but Royval said that he was offered to fight Askarov on a card next month, and he said yes, and Askarov's team said no for some reason. I don't know why. But, I mean, again, this is coming from one side of the table. What I can say is it looks like this fight was offered to be rescheduled, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So Royval's just like, all right, so I take his spot now because he didn't make the weight. They try to rebook it. They didn't want to do it, at least in his eyes. So I should take his ranking spot and go fight Pants in Brazil. That's what he wants. Let me fight Pantoja in Brazil. I'm down for that. I'm down for that 100%.
What's the date of that Brazil card?
January 23rd? 21st? Let me see. Which one will that be? 283?
Yeah, but it's like 3 months away at least.
Yeah, it's in it's like mid-January, mid to late January. UFC 283 is January 21st. Yep.
Yeah, which will be summertime down there too. So
second card of the year.
That's good. That makes total sense. Pantoja is not getting a title shot next. I think Royval Pantoja is an awesome fight, and I hope the UFC makes it. And I hope the UFC forces Askarov to go to bantamweight because I think this is his third or fourth issue with making flyweight. So to me, he's a bantamweight now. But that's on the UFC that's the UFC's call. Not yeah. I we've done I feel like we've done this Ashcroft thing a lot. This whole it's just I feel bad for the opponents. I mean, if Ashcroft's gonna do that to his own career, that's on him. But every time he messes up weight, it really screws over his opponent, and that's just not right. After this many times.
All right. Victor Henry's gonna smash. Are you guys pumped to see the return of Henry?
I am biased. Victor Henry is now one of my mixed martial arts coaches. I was always a fan of Victor Henry, but just recently I moved to a part of LA that I'm very close to the gym he coaches at. He is he teaches the no-gi jiu-jitsu classes, but he hasn't been doing it for the last 3 months because when he goes in the fight camp, he doesn't do any coaching. But of course, I'm very excited. I think all of us as just fans should be very excited to see Victor Henry in the UFC. This is a big fight for him. Yeah, we talked about what a massive favorite he is. I was super shocked by that because Rafael Assuncao is still Rafael Assuncao. I don't care if he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's still Rafael Assuncao, and Rafael Assuncao is still, to me, an elite bantamweight. And this is a chance for Victor Henry to kind of prove to the rest of the world what he thinks he already is, and that's an elite bantamweight. So this fight is super exciting, and I am very pumped to see it.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about this fight, so I'm very excited. I'm very high on Victor Henry. I've been very high on Victor Henry for a long time. I just don't. But being very high on a fighter in certain divisions it means certain things in other divisions than it does at 135. Being a really good bantamweight could mean you're the 30th best bantamweight in the world right now. Yeah. That's just what this division looks like. But is Victor Henry, to me, Rafael Assuncao is still a top 15-ish bantamweight. To me, because, yeah, he's on a 4-fight losing streak, but he has only lost to the absolute best. He's lost to legit guys. Like, every single loss in this run has been to, like, super legit dudes. And if Victor Henry wins, to me, he's a top 15 guy. But let's see if Rafael Assuncao still has some juice left, because either Victor Henry is as good as we think he is, and if that's true, that means Rafael Assuncao is not the same guy. It just is officially not the same dude, and that's okay. He's had a great career. The guy has a win over TJ Dillashaw, which at the time aged very, very well because of what TJ went on to do. And so they fought again, and TJ got the win in the rematch. But I just, as far as like questions that I have more questions about this fight than any other fight on the card.
Rafael Assuncao, victories over Rob Font, Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling. It's just like the guy's had a great run in the UFC. Is this a must win for Assuncao though? A must. Do you think he still gets another fight if he loses?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I didn't think he'd get another fight now.
Yeah,
but
I think I think he's already on borrowed time right now. So,
but he's. I mean, listen. Maybe he's still got a name though. Like his name still means something. Even if he loses, it still means something. Like beating Rafael Assuncao means something.
Oh,
at 135, where we're in a division where it's so hard to get ranked.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm picking Victor Henry to win, but I mean, I thought Victor was gonna have a tougher time against Barcelos his last fight, because I think Barcelos was probably the most underrated bantamweight, and he did terrific. And yeah, right. Assuncao may not be as tough a name as Barcelos, but he's a bigger name. Yeah, this is a good fight, and I'm happier it's higher up on the card, because I didn't like how low in the card it was. Unfortunately, we lost the best fight on the card, but here we are. So.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, just look at the guys that get wins over. He's got wins over TJ. He got win. I mean, he's the trivia question. He's the first guy to beat Pedro Munoz. First guy to ever beat Pedro Munoz. He beat Brian Caraway, who in 2014 was a very good win. Loses to TJ at UFC 200. Beats the current champion. Beats Marlon Moraes, who at the time was just coming into the UFC. One of the most highly anticipated signings the UFC had coming from World Series of Fighting. Then he got a finish over Matthew Lopez. I think it was a short notice thing. But the Rob Font win, I mean, it was a little over 4 years ago. That was super impressive. Because people have beaten Rob Font, and we've seen it during the sort of run that he's on, but no one has gone out and just like flat out dominated Rob Font, like start to finish, and Rafael Assuncao did. That was a really good performance against Rob Font. So, and then from there, it's just all been kind of downhill.
Yeah, well, this might be kind of. I didn't know this is kind of silly of me, I guess. We always see these things about we talk about WEC. Dude, I forgot Assuncao was a 4-fight veteran of WEC. What, 1, 2, 3, 4? No, 5. He fought 5 fights in WEC, and we never hear him in that conversation. We talk these WEC fighters who are still, Dustin Poirier's, the Uriah Faber's, Dominic Cruz's. We never talk about. Actually, I never hear Rafael Assuncao as far as that WEC kind of crowd. Do you?
I forgot. I
completely forgot. Like I've watched most of these cards I'm looking at, and like I don't even remember him. Unfortunately, I guess that's the problem with Rafael Assuncao.
And he fought Uriah Faber, which is like in WEC, which is I thought for sure that I would
remember that. I just
don't remember that. I actually don't remember that fight actually ever happened. I don't remember that fight at all, which is nuts. But right. I'll have to go back and watch it someday.
All right.
But I will say this also, from a betting, you can keep this up there. From a betting perspective, I can't bet on Victor Henry. I just couldn't. At minus 410, I can't. That's insane.
The line is crazy.
It's Dogger Pass. Plus 330 for Rafael Assuncao. And Jed was saying that Assuncao by decision, which if he's going to win, that's probably how he's going to win, is by decision, is like plus 550. That's worth. I wouldn't go and bet the mortgage on it, but if you have a couple bets on the prelims and you're feeling pretty saucy, you got a couple victories under your belt, you're up some money, want to throw a little sprinkle on Assuncao by decision? That would not be a terrible choice.
Oh, that's a great choice, honestly. If you're gonna pick Assuncao to win, that's decision. And what's the line again? I'm sorry.
The line plus 550 Assuncao by decision.
Ooh.
It's plus 330 straight or plus 550. You might as well just go for the extra juice because I don't think Assuncao is finishing Victor Henry.
No, that'd be a tough one to do, man. But just real quick, just because I've trained with Victor Henry, or actually, I don't want to say trained with him. He's beaten me up. He's a 135er. At my lightest, I could be a lightweight. So I'm rolling of him about, I don't know, I have about 25, 30 pounds on him. There are just levels to this game, and it's just amazing how quick he can just submit a decent blue belt like me. It's humbling in the best way to have someone like that just kick the crap out of you, and then him kind of laugh and explain how he kicked your ass. It's really great. So hoping the best for him, just that's a very biased, viewpoint, but it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
He probably experienced the same thing with like Josh Barnett coaching him for a long time. Barnett, 130 pounds heavier, just tapping him left and right, and then being like, "Here's why I did this." Yeah. It has nothing to do that I'm 130 pounds bigger than you. Nothing.
Oh my God!
Will you guys be surprised? Yeah. Oh, will we be surprised when not if Killer Cub wins, or I don't know if this is will you guys be surprised or not if Swanson wins?
Let's just talk about Cub Swanson. I think.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go by. Will I be surprised if Killer Cub wins? I'll go with that. No, I'm picking him to win. I'm picking him to win the fight. And it's not a very confident pick, but I am picking him to win.
Yeah, I'm picking. I like Jonathan Martinez a lot. Actually, I think he's a very underrated, unique fighter. Actually, I love his personality. Well, who do we have on? Was it BTL? That's a training partner with
Grant.
Yeah.
Grant.
Yeah.
Dawson.
Sorry, Grant Dawson shouldn't have been the one. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jonathan Martinez shouldn't have been the one that had a fake. What do you call it? A training partner do his interview.
You should have like Yusuf Salal.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. The matchup's odd, but it's Cub Swanson coming to 35. Do you like this fight? I mean, just the matchup. If Cub coming down, I know Jed was very anti him going to bantamweight, but he's a bantamweight now. Do you think this is the right fight for Cub, for the promotion? It's obviously a great fight for Martinez, I think.
No, Faber was the right fight. That was the one. Because it seemed like both guys wanted it. But I'm okay with this because Like if Cub's just like, no, I'm not fighting at 45 anymore. I'm fighting at 35, and that's it. You book me a bantamweight fight. I actually think this works because Cub's got a name. Jonathan wins. Like I don't think Jonathan becomes like a superstar if he beats Cub Swanson, but it's a nice win on the resume enhances. There's no doubt about that. But I also think this is a winnable fight for Cub, but it's a fight he's going to have to win inside of 7 minutes or he's not going to win. This fight goes to the third round, he's not going to win. I just don't think so. But if there's a finish to be had, I think it's coming from Cub Swanson. Just because Jonathan's been dropped a bunch of times, and it hasn't been by a feather. I mean, I know Martinez has had some weight issues, had some fights at featherweight, but he's been cracked, man. He leaves his chin open sometimes. He gets a little too excited about getting into a brawl. You can see, like, fight by fight, he gets a little more patient as time goes on. But Cub Swanson has no issues getting into absolute scraps, and he's very good at luring technical strikers into his world. And I think there's a chance that happens here. So, again, if this fight gets past the 7-minute mark, Jonathan Martinez is going to win, but I think Cub's going to get him out of there. That's my prediction. Not confident about it, but my official MMA Fighting pick on our pick group is Cub Swanson by second round KO or TKO.
Yeah. I do feel Cub is going to piece up Mr. Martinez on the feet. And I do think he's going to decision, but basically based on the dominance of the first 2 rounds, I think. I think Martinez is just a tough guy, and it'll be hard to finish. But I am picking Cub, and I don't believe Cub's not a dummy. He cut the 35 for a reason. I don't think this is really to reinvent. Was his last? No, he won his last fight. It was, he won his last.
He had
fight.
He had the best finish. He had the best finish of his career.
Oh
in his
yeah,
last fight.
oh my god, yeah, that is kind of it is. But a bit of a faded Elkins, but Darren Elkins is always hard to finish. So it's an interesting fight. I don't really know what it means for the bantamweight division. I don't think it means that much, to be honest. I just think it's more just a Cub Swanson. Let's see how good he still is or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Cubs mentality with this whole thing is just like he knows his career is winding down and he wants to make sure that he has done everything in his power to do everything he's wanted to do in the sport. And one of the things he's wanted to do for a long time was go to 135 and see how he did there. Can I make the weight? Can I compete with these guys? This is exactly what he wants to do. Win, lose, or draw. He's got to be happy that he went in there and tried it. He doesn't want any regrets when he walks away from the sport. And I just dig that about the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Dig that about the guy. 100%.
Yeah, I think anyone in the media that's ever talked to Cub on the record or off the record just knows what a just, I don't know. He's a real one. That's all. He's a real
great.
One. Yeah, he's a
great guy. Does he have one more run left in him?
That's what we find out tonight.
I mean, that would be something if Cub goes on a bantamweight run and fights for the belt. But you know what'll happen? Cub will go and win like 8 fights in a row, and we're all gonna be like, "Man, Cub Swanson should get a title shot." And then the UFC is gonna throw him in there with Marab in like Mexico City or someplace in elevation, Denver, Colorado. It's gonna be Cub Swanson versus Marab Dvalishvili in a 5-round main event. Like that's what the UFC would do if he does go on a run. We're all gonna be clamoring for a Cub Swanson title fight, and then they're gonna throw him in there with Marab and be like, "What? What are we doing here?" And then Marab's gonna beat him, and Cub's gonna ride off into the sunset. Like, don't do this. If Cub wins this fight and then wins like 2 or 3 more, just give him a friggin' title fight. Just do it. Just do it.
Make a. Did I always kind of say this. I think it's Cub. I always talk about the best fighters in the UFC that never fought for an actual title, and I always feel like Cub was in that kind of that category. Just guys who are incredibly good, always top of division, but never fought for a UFC title or even a WC title. I don't think he's ever fought for a major title at all. Maybe he did like before he got to WC. But he just.
You ever fought? I think you might be right.
Like that kind of that.
I think it was close until Jose Aldo like almost murdered him.
Yeah, he was always one fight away, and then I think in featherweight he was one fight away. And I think he ran into Frankie Edgar. I think. stuff like that. Like he was always one fight away. And who knows, if he wins tonight, he might be the same thing at bantamweight. Then they give him a rob, and we're back. He's back at square one again.
Oh man, still thinking about Jose Aldo not fighting for the title.
I know, yeah. When you mentioned the rob, I started getting kind of annoyed. I was like, oh damn it.
Yeah, because that's what they're gonna do. He's gonna be another dude. They're like, oh,
he's gonna retire, and the Cub Swanson is gonna retire too after getting held against the cage for 15 minutes.
God. And I've been pretty happy. I've been pretty positive with UFC matchmaking for quite some time, but that was such a botch job.
And it was for nothing. Because I feel like Merab is not like he's not any closer to the belt either. It was just
he gained nothing from that win. He gained nothing from that win.
UFC just lost the legend, and then Merab's exactly where he was. Like we didn't learn anything from that fight. He's still gonna have to win. He's still gonna have to win 2 more fights to even be in the actual conversation. Like if TJ beats Aljo, he still has to win 2 more fights before he fights for the belt. That's where he's at right now. Sorry, guys. I know I got so many questions, guys. All right.
I love it.
Yeah, we gotta fly through them.
Besides Shevchenko, who else is a problem for Grasso? I mean.
She has a tough fight tonight. That's it.
Yeah. Chikagan's tough. Chikagan's tough for everybody. I think Fioro, just her size and her athleticism, and Andrade is a problem for everybody. So
I enjoy your enthusiasm for Miss Grasso, Forrest Daniels, but I'm picking Alexa Grasso tonight. I'm very high on her. I'm a lot higher on her than say Jed was on the preview show, but. No, but I don't see Grasso's not the next Valentina, but Grasso is, I think, is going to be a very legit contender after tonight. So that's about all. That's about all I'll put in there. All I'll say. All I'll guarantee.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Okay.
Jordan Wright has mentioned this is the first camp he has worked with a nutritionist. Do you think that will show in his performance? Personally, I'll be rooting for the Beverly Hills Ninja. So, I mean, to me, Jordan Wright, I don't think him working with a nutritionist is going to change who he is as a fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, unless his nutritionist is trying to turn him into Popeye and just feeds him spinach before he walks out to the cage, just so he has extra power on his punches, he's still going to fight the same. Him and Dusko are just going to go in there and throw hams at each other until somebody drops. So I don't know if that'll just because like Jordan's just a dude who gets got. He's just so fun and he gets good. He gets great and he gets got even better. So, I mean, he is like a UFC dream opponent or dream rostered fighter in a lot of ways, but no, I don't think him working with a nutritionist is going to change his performance in the fight at all. Cause I think just his mentality is we're just going to go in there and kill or be killed.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's something we don't know about Jordan Wright, in the sense that he feels like he has to lay it all out there because he's only got a good 5 minutes of fighting in him, or something like that, unless he feels like the nutritionist has improved his cardio, that he can like wrestle, maybe stretch his fight out for 10 minutes rather than 5 minutes. That's about it. But if it's a 1-round fight like he usually fights, then I don't think it'll make a difference. So
I mean, just his record is just ridiculous. 2 minutes 36 seconds, minute 28, minute 4, 5 minutes 18 seconds. I think that's probably his longest fight ever. That was the Joaquin Buckley fight. 91 seconds, 48 seconds, 40 seconds, 89 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 seconds, minute 32, 39 seconds, 10 seconds, 159, 52 seconds, 248, 103. Times of all of his fights. The Joaquin Buckley fight, which ended with inside of the first minute of the second round, was the longest fight of his career.
Wow. That is wild. That's wild. All right.
No. The Gabriel Checo fight was 30 seconds longer than that. So yes, so he's never seen the second minute of the second round ever.
Huh. So it's going to
That's
decision
crazy.
tonight then.
I think Jed is actually betting on that, honestly.
It depends. If the announcers do one of those things where they go, we guarantee this will not go to decision, then it's of course going to decision. So
Yeah.
all right. All right. Wait. Let me do. Okay. Talk a little bit about. This is next week's card. Yeah, next week's card. Here we go.
How do we feel about Volk as the backup? Dariush got screwed. I don't know. Dariush, in a lot of people's eyes, has been screwed from Jump Street. But I don't care. I mean, I don't care that much. It's smart on the UFC's part, if this is actually the case, to attach his name to the card in some way, even though he's just going to be stepping on the scale. And he might not even step on the scale, because if Oliveira and Makhachev are the first two guys to step on the scale and they're under 155, like, I don't think Volk's going to step on the scale himself unless they're like, we're going to pay you a whole bunch of money, but you have to make weight. So, I don't know if like Dariush got screwed. We also don't know what's actually true or not.
Yeah.
Because Volkanovski saying he's the backup, Dariush saying he's the backup, and the UFC has said nothing about it. So maybe after this card, Dana White will talk about it.
Dariush is on the card, right? He's actually on the card, right?
He's fighting Gamrot.
Yeah, he's not a backup. You're fighting Gamrot. You can't be a backup. You're fighting Gamrot. Like, what is Gamrot supposed to like? I mean, that's kind of honestly, I'm just kind of like, that's kind of BS for Dariush, because you have an opponent. You can't just, you signed a contract to fight that opponent. I don't get it. And also,
right.
It's just, I don't know, a gentleman's agreement. And this whole thing too about Volk, like they say, I can't get an answer for this either. So just say for example, Oliveira misses weight again. Oliveira can still fight. The title is still up for grabs for Makhachev. Like, there's nothing in the contract. Like, why would Islam have to change and fight a whole nother opponent? Unless it's in the contract where we can literally put anyone in there for you to fight. Because the fight, if Makhachev makes weight, then the championship is still, he can still win the championship. It's just the other guy that can't win. Correct?
Right.
Yeah. So that's why the weight missing.
I think Makhachev would rather fight Volkanovski. Honestly, I think he'd rather fight Volkanovski.
But not without a training camp to prepare for him. That's a completely different fighter. That's all I'm saying. Is like, to me, if
no, I get where you're coming from,
yeah.
But I just don't know if the UFC wants to risk not ending the card without a champion again. This would be the second one in a row at 155. Like, we've gone more than half the year. If that's the case, let's just say like Oliveira misses weight and they're like, all right, we'll let him fight. And then he wins again. We still don't have a champion. So we enter 2023 without a champion in the marquee division of the company. I don't know if the UFC would let that happen. But maybe.
But it's not really on the UFC. It's on Makhachev to accept a new opponent. I
think he would, though.
But why would he? I mean, unless he thinks it's that much an easier fight.
I mean, the UFC built this card essentially around him, so I'm sure he would just do it for his people. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue either. I agree. I think Oliveira's going to be like 153.5. He's going to make sure he makes weight.
The guy used to be a featherweight. He's
got to make it. He's going to be fine.
Yeah. And like I said, I think I put this out there too. A backup fighter has never actually filled in, ever. That was a true designated backup fighter. As a backup fighter ever actually fought has the backup?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's never happened.
I mean, technically, like, you could say Tony Ferguson against Nate Diaz.
No, because he was on the card. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got someone that's not on the card that they brought in just to be a backup. Yeah, that's never happened.
Right, but that doing it this way rarely happens. Like, very rarely happens. If there's other fights in other weight classes, they usually don't do it. Like they did it with Manel Kopp for the Figgy Moreno fight. I think it's the one that they did in December of 2021, because they had just fought in November at the Apex, and they like turned them around 3 weeks later to fight again. Yeah. So that was probably just like, all right, we might need a backup here. But for the most part, they technically don't. Once in a while, they'll bring in like a backup. And they brought in backups for just like random fights too. But yeah.
Ooh.
Usually it's like somebody on the card.
Yeah. Big question.
The real question of the day, what is more likely to happen? Mike Heck to grow his hair out or Casey Line to shave his mustache? It's Casey shaving his mustache by a mile. Hey, grow it out. Unless, hey, listen, you never know. Maybe daddy hits the lottery from hundreds of millions of dollars, and then, there's some procedure that can be done to take me back my flowing locks. Maybe I'll look into it. But at this point, I've accepted defeat. And I ain't growing it back.
Well, if you're not growing it back, the mustache stays. We're a team.
There you go. We're a team.
All right. How are we looking at the broadcast? What's going on?
6 minutes, 45 seconds till the first fight.
Oh, is that what they're saying? Let me change this then.
Which isn't bad. This is actually better than I thought it was going to be. We're back to the desk. We got Dan Helly, Alan Joban, Dean Thomas, and the broadcast team, by the way, is Fitzy. Congratulations to Brendan Fitz getting re-signed to the UFC multi-year deal. Good on him. Smart move. And it's Cruz and Felder are the color guys. All right. So we'll take a couple more if we can, and then we'll get into the picks and predictions, and then we'll be done. I hear they're targeting Jones versus Stipe for UFC 282. Do you guys think they will make it the main event or keep it Yuri versus Glover? So if you've listened to Heck of a Morning, we have talked about this particular card a million times. And here's basically what Ariel reported yesterday. He knows a little bit more about the situation than I do. But I know Jones... They're in the midst of one last push to try to get Jon to fight on this card. And the initial hope, which the UFC didn't, from what I found, because I had some conversations last night about this exact situation. In a perfect world, what would happen is that Francis Ngannou has healing powers of Tony Ferguson back 4 or 5 years ago, where Tony tore every sort of ligament in his leg, but was able to fight 6 months later. So there was a glimmer of hope that maybe in a perfect world, Francis Ngannou would come back in December and fight Jon Jones, which physically it's just not possible because he's 6 months post-op from ripping his knee to shreds, and he's a massive heavyweight, and he fought with his knee like that against a guy like Ciryl Gane. So him coming back in December, one, is just too soon. And two, even if Ngannou was yeah, I'll do it, the fight just isn't as interesting to me because you have Ngannou at 70% against Jon Jones, who's been out for 3 years, just bulking up and getting ready for this thing. So to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Jones is still in play. What they want to do is Jones versus Stipe. That's what the UFC is trying to put together.
For the interim title?
For the I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing. They'll call it an interim title.
Yeah, I would assume.
They'll call it an interim title. If they could get Stipe on board, that will be the main event, which is not surprising because it's for Jon freaking Jones and Stipe Miocic. That'll be the main event. Now it's just getting Stipe on board to say, okay, I'll do this fight on less than 8 weeks' notice. And Stipe typically isn't that dude because he doesn't care that much. If he's going to fight, he wants it to be the biggest fight possible. He wants to have as much time as possible to prepare for it. He wants all the boxes checked on his need to fight list. This is what I need to fight. And who knows? Maybe this could be Stipe. Maybe they pay Stipe a whole bunch of money and he just says yes. But I don't know. It's probably 50-50 at this point. It's probably 50-50. Now, as far as a Francis, I'll just say this, and I know I might get some flack for this. I hate this idea of doing Jon versus Stipe at UFC 282. I hate it. I think it's dumb. I think it's short-term BS that you don't need because you could still do Yuri versus Glover 2 and then just put Khamzat Chimaev on that card against anybody. It doesn't matter. Put him against Colby Covington or Colby Covington, Costa, anybody. Put him on the card. That's fine. Like, just put him on the card. And that does blockbuster numbers. I don't love this idea because if Stipe Miocic beats Jon Jones, you might lose Francis Ngannou altogether. You might just lose him because at this point, if I'm Francis and the UFC goes ahead and books this fight, I ain't signing shit until the deadline comes up because he's got till the end of the year and then he become a free agent. But he could re-sign beforehand, which if they could guarantee him that he's fighting Jon Jones the first quarter of 2023, I think he'd be like, all right, I'm in. But now what if Stipe wins? What if Stipe beats Jon Jones? You can't book Francis versus Jon Jones right away. And then Francis is like, all right, so I'm going to come back to not fight Jon Jones. This is like, what are we doing here? This is why we're here. So to me, it's just not worth the risk to me to book this fight in case Stipe wins. Now, could you do a trilogy fight? Is there a story there? Sure, between Ngannou and Stipe. But it's not the same. We're all wanting one fight. For 2 years, we've been talking about this. And now it's like right there for us. We could get it in March. Or April. Like, we're this close. And we're not willing to wait for it. It's a risky move. I don't love the idea. I get why the UFC would do it, but you're playing a real risky game here. If we're trying to get to one end game and we're 3 months away from giving it to everybody finally, but we're going to book Jon in another fight 3 months before that, I don't know, man. Seems like a lot of risk to me.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's good arguments. I don't know. So basically, you're Jon Jones. Jon Jones can only come back to fight Francis. That's basically what you're saying.
Right now, on October 15th, year of our Lord 2022, yes, right now.
Okay.
Now, if we're talking like May, when all of these conversations started and Stipe Jon was being rumored, there were talks about doing it in September, maybe doing it in December. And if we put this fight together in like June or July or August at the latest, and we're like, it's August 1st, December 10th, Jon Jones fighting Stipe for the interim title. And then the winner will go on to fight Francis Ngannou. At that point, I'm like, okay, because we still don't know what's going on with Francis. We don't know what's going on with the contract. We don't know when physically he's going to be able to come back to fight because he just had surgery. But the more time goes by, with every passing day, the closer we get to getting Jon versus Francis Ngannou. And that's the one everybody wants. So now we're in the middle of October, and instead of waiting for Francis for March, which is only 3 months later, to do this fight that everybody wants. Jon wants it, Francis wants it, all the teams want it, the UFC wants it, the fans want it, everybody wants it. We're going to put up a potential roadblock and put Stipe in there, which, listen, if we lived in a perfect world, Jon would beat Stipe, and then the fight with Francis is even bigger. But what if he loses? Or like, what if it's a 5-round war and Jon just ain't ready to come back in March? What if Jon's out for 9 months? What if he tears a ligament or something? What if he's out for a year? And then we're still waiting for this fight to happen. So if we're this close to getting it, why not just wait? I don't get it. I don't understand.
When do we know? Pete Rodriguez is walking out right now. I feel like we should just. I feel like we should just. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, let's do our picks right now.
All right, let's do our picks.
Let's do the picks. Main card. Are we picking? Is there going to be a fight of the night on this card, or are we gonna do? Is it going to be a performance bonus? Heavy.
Let me see. Fight of the night.
Heavy fun. Good time.
Fight of the night. No, I think we're going to have all performance bonuses tonight.
Who's going to get them?
Picking my boy Victor Henry, an extra $50K in his pocket after he gets a sweet submission in the second round. I'm going to go Alexa Grasso for another performance after what I pick? I'm going second round TKO for Miss Grasso with them.
Damn.
Them hands. And yeah, I'm just gonna be positive. I'm going Cub Swanson. I'm going Cub Swanson. Oh yeah, even though I picked decision, I'm actually gonna pick Cub Swanson just for I don't know. I like Cub. I just want
I'm
some
picking
more money.
I'm picking Cubby for a performance bonus. I'm gonna take Cubby, Tetsuro Taira.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about him. Yeah.
And I'll say the main event's to be the fight of the night. I don't know. I just think it's gonna go all 5, and it's gonna have its moments, and I just think it's gonna win fight of the night.
The low key,
So
what I want to be fight of the night though, I want Nick Maximoff and Jacob Malkoon to be the fight of the night. That's what I want to be.
That's gonna be crazy to watch.
Yeah, I want their wrestling to stalemate, and then I just want to see sloppy kickboxing for 15 minutes.
That would be the best.
I love sloppy kickboxing. Just yeah.
All right, so Alonzo Menafield versus Misha Serkinov. Who you got?
Who did I pick? I haven't given up in Circumnov yet. I'm going submission round 1. I still believe in him. I think 185 was a mistake, and I still got faith in him, even though that's really against all logic.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't have faith in him, but he's not going to win, and he's not going to get out of the first round. So give me Alonzo Menafield to put him away early.
Oh, that's definitely the smarter pick. That's definitely the smarter pick, yeah.
You're going Victor Henry. I am also going Victor. I'm going Victor Henry by decision. That's the official pick. But I think it's a close fight. This is not a minus 410 situation, I don't think. Dusko Todorovic versus Jordan Wright.
Beverly Hills Ninja knockout round 1. He's got a nutritionist. He's eating healthy.
I will take the opposite of that,
right.
But I mean, you could be right. It's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, that's how those fights are.
I'm picking Cub Swanson second round TKO, but we definitely live in a world where Jonathan Martinez wins the decision here. But I just got this feeling Cubby's going to catch him with something sneaky and win.
Yeah, I'm going Cub dominant decision.
And then you're going Grasso second round TKO. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
I'm going for the upset. I'm going Viviane Araujo by decision. I think Grasso starts off strong. I think Araujo gets better as the fight goes. I think we're going to have a 2-2, a little 2-2 tie action going in around 5, and I think Araujo will do just enough to get the job done. So there you go. We got Mike Jackson, Pete Rodriguez. I mean, all right, well, let's watch a round.
Yeah, let's watch a round. I guess
all right. Let's go.
Normally don't do this, but this is a special fight.
This is a special fight. This is one of us.
This is one of us.
One of us.
Where are you at? Where are you at in your stream? They're announcing Pete Rodriguez. Martinez is doing Pete Rodriguez right now on my stream.
I'm behind you. Probably by about. It appears.
Yeah, Martinez just said. Martinez just announced Rodriguez.
Yeah, so Rodriguez's graphic just popped up on the screen on mine.
Okay. Mike Jackson just fist bumped Martinez.
That's right. We're not even looking. I'm not even looking at Mike Jackson right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go backwards a little bit.
So Pete just got where I'm at, and now I got Mike on the screen.
You do?
Mike just fist pound. The fist pound just happened.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're pretty close now. All right.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I'm so excited for this. I should not be as excited.
Yeah, I know. This is weird. I like
really
it.
Excited. I just
that's what price like. No one wants to see the best versus the best. We want to see Mike Jackson versus Pete Rodriguez. We're more excited about this than the main event.
I'm so fired up right now. Here we go. Look at everyone came in not an empty seat in the Apex for this first fight, and I don't blame you. Oh, there's a few, but those are media seats.
What time do you have on your clock?
Here we go. 4:57. 6.
Okay.
5.
I'm 5 seconds ahead. All right. Dang it.
All right, that's not bad. You were probably 25 or 30 before.
Yeah. I'm at 4:44 now. Is that?
Oh my God.
All right. Here we go.
Here we go, baby. Oh, big leg kick.
Let me pause.
The truth. Big tatty on the back.
That chest hair is amazing. It's such a.
It really is. It's Brian. It's Brian Ebersolish in a way.
Oh boy! All right, come on, Mike. One of us. One of us. One of us. Ooh, body shot. He didn't like that. He didn't like that body shot. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Grabbing a leg. Working his way up.
I mean, I'm just listening to your commentary because you're a few seconds ahead of me. Mike, I mean, look, the durability of the truth, man. I mean, this is what could win him the fight right here. Taking some big shots, tire him out, rope a dope, baby.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a bad spot, Mike. That's a bad spot. Okay, he's wrestling now. Oh, good team.
He's like, I take all those punches. I mean, Pete's. Oh, maybe I was gonna say Pete's face looks a little red, but it's probably just hair.
This ain't going good. Oh, this ain't going good.
Oh, that knee was nasty.
Mike Jackson.
He's dead.
Oh
Wow.
man. Shit, man.
That knee was nasty. Dude, he's effed up.
All right. You know what? Yeah. All right. We don't need to talk about this too much.
All right. Well, we can hit the music.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And also, I mean, a big start. Pete Rodriguez gets the first round KO. We hope Mike Jackson is okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. He took a bad knee on the ground. Yeah.
That knee was bad. That was a real bad knee. But, we have 10 more fights to go.
Okay, I don't need to see the replay of that.
Thank you very much. We'll see you after the card, post-fight show action, and we'll see you then. I'm feeling a little verklempt right now, so verklempt. We're a little verklempt after seeing what just transpired. But for Casey, I am Mike Heck. Enjoy the card, everybody. Lots of combat sports action going down, and we'll talk about it as much as possible later on tonight.
Happy birthday, AK.